Hello and welcome to this week's video. In this week's video we're going to be talking about carp spawning. So let's get straight into the video. So what happens when carp spawn? So for example, you're sitting out on the bank on a nice sunny day, anywhere between early and mid-summer, and you can start to hear carp crashing a lot, in the margins a lot, and just a lot of action from the carp thrashing around and moving like that. So that's how you really know the carp is spawning. So yeah, if you see that happening, it looks like it is that time of the year where the carp are back on the spawn. So in that situation, really, you would want to pack up, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later on in the video. Today I'm at a lake that I've fished a lot before on this channel. The video will be in the top right icon right now if you'd like to check out any of them videos. But me and Matt Catches are going to do a campaign at this lake very soon, but it is currently closed season, and it is closed season for a very good reason, because around this time of year this is when the carp usually spawn, and the past few days the carp have been spawning. And if you look around on the lake right now, I can show you some clips on the screen now. All the carp and bream and everything are on the surface. I've walked around the lake once already. I've seen loads of fry, so it does look like the carp have actually finished spawning in this lake, but there's still a lot of lakes that are spawning. Like for example, my local lake, which is the open cast, is still spawning because I went up there yesterday because I was going to go fish, but I thought I'd best check before I go because it's about 21 degrees, which is definitely quite warm enough for the carp to spawn. Right, so we just got up the local lake, and as I just mentioned in the video, the fish are spawning. So I was just started getting my stuff together, and I thought, oh, the weather's well nice. And then I thought, the weather's well nice. So I thought, best come up and check, see what it's like. I've just walked around the shallows here, and I've seen about 10, 15 fish in the margin already thrashing around. So and as you can see, there's a lot of wakes all around the lake here. This is the shallower end, so they're definitely just starting off spawning. They'll probably spawn by tonight, to be honest, by the looks of it. They've been doing it for a few days now. All the reeds are moving. There's quite a few big fish in them reeds. So they've been getting into the mood for spawning for about a week now, so I think they'll definitely start spawning within the next couple of days now, because on Friday it's going to be 28 degrees and it's currently Tuesday, and leading up to that it's going to be 20 plus degrees, so they will have spawned by next week hopefully, and I can come back fishing. But as you can see, a lot of movement, not really fishable, so I'll leave the fish do the thing and come back on the bank very soon. They're definitely spawning, so unfortunately I can't fish today, but I'll give them a week or two, and I'm sure they'll be finished spawning. And very soon CARP reopens again, the lake that me and Matt Catches were fishing for a couple of weeks, so me and Matt are going to do a campaign on there very soon. But there's not much I could do today as the fish are spawning, so I think I'm going to get down the canal tomorrow. So let's jump back to future Noah. So I went up there to check, and there was a lot of action and definitely spawning going on. So I left it and I decided to make this video instead to teach everyone the importance of carp spawning and how to protect the carp and keep that hobby game that we love and enjoy. So another way to tell if the carp will be spawning soon or if they started spawning is the water temperature. They like the warm water temperature. It needs to be about 18 degrees, and if they already start spawning when it's about 18 degrees and it drops lower than 18 degrees, they will carry on spawning. But at the moment I'm not actually exactly sure what the water temperature is, but it's definitely more than 18 degrees. Today it's 22 degrees, yesterday it was 21, and then the day before was like 20, and then on Friday, it's currently Wednesday, it's going to be about 28 degrees. So they're definitely going to be on the spawner. It's definitely going to be very hot, and personally I won't be fishing in this time. I'm going to give the fish a rest and let them all heal up, because they will definitely be injured and very weak from all the spawning that's going on. Right, so I've asked Instagram some questions, and my phone will not load because I am at this lake and it's in complete trenches and there's no service at all. But I've got a few questions that have came through. Someone has asked, how many times a year can carp spawn? Usually they only spawn a couple of times, but if it's the right conditions they can spawn up to 3 to 4 times, and usually that's about 100,000 eggs per 1 kilo body weight. So if a fish is 10 kilo, it can lay up to 1 million eggs in 1 year. So that is a lot of eggs, but the survival rate is a very different thing, and I'm sure we'll get onto that later. Another question we've got here, do the carp eat their spawn? And unfortunately, yes they do, and they eat quite a lot of them. After they've had a long spawning session, it's got a lot of protein in and it's packed with nutrients, so they will go and eat the spawn, and so will other fish in the lake, so like pike, perch, anything like that will go and also eat the spawn. So the survival rate is very low, and unless the conditions are perfect, basically none of the eggs will actually survive and grow on to be big carp. But if they have better conditions, there's a lot of places to hide, a lot of places for the eggs to go. there is quite a high chance of some of the eggs surviving, but it's a very, very low survival rate. Another question is, can carp injure themselves and also lose weight through spawning? And they will put on a lot of weight coming up to when they're getting spawned, and then when they release their eggs they will use a lot of energy, a lot of muscle mass, so they will drop weight a bit after spawning, but after they've done that they will eat most eggs, get the protein back, and also go and eat a lot more. So if you're looking to fish and catch a few fish after they finish spawning, it's a really good time to get a quick bite and to pick up an easy fish, because they've just lost a load of energy and they will be very, very hungry and wanting to get their nutrients back up so they're nice and strong again. And they also can lose scales, scratch themselves and a lot more, and they're hitting each other and rubbing themselves against each other, and also rubbing themselves across like sticks, branches, and like all fallen in trees like that over there. So they will be doing that through spawning as well. So if you do see fish that you've caught after spawning where they're a bit injured, a few loose scales, just put some carp care on and chuck them back in the drink, and I'm sure they'll be back to the healthy selves in no time. So let's jump on to the main stuff that you clicked on this video to hear. Why should you not carp fish when the fish are spawning? And the main reason is the fish are already very, very weak, and it's very unfair to fish for the carp when they're in that state, because they're already going to be injured, they're already going to be weak, and they've got eggs in them. So if you catch a female that's holding eggs and you're getting around the water, it can injure all the eggs that are inside of it, and it can also injure her, and it can really damage her insides and everything else. So if you do want to be a respectful carp angler, if you see the fish spawning, please pack up, go home, and come back in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Just keep checking on the fish, see how they're doing, and when you see the action stopped, probably give them a couple of days after they finish spawning, let them heal up a bit, chuck some bait up, get your spots pre-baited, and I'm sure that'll boost their energy and get them back on the feed in no time. So if you do see any actions of spawning, what actions you want to look for are fish rubbing themselves up in the margin, them jumping a lot, load of fish together piled up in the margins. Usually you can see them on top of the surface. So that's everything you need to look for really if you're trying to spot the carp spawning. And if you do see them spawning, just be a respectful angler, you'll be very appreciated in the angling hobby, and just keep the rods out in the water, give them a week or so, keep checking in on them, see how they're doing it, and when they're finished, give them a couple of days, get the rod straight in, and I'm sure you'll have a quick bite off the fish that have just been spawning, and they will be very hungry, so they'll definitely be on the feed. Right, so you've learned everything you basically need to know in this video, from when to start fishing again after fish are spawned, how to look after the fish when they're spawning, and how to make sure you know they're spawning to stop fishing. So thanks very much for watching this week's video. I hope you've learned something, and please do not go fishing when the carp are spawning. It's very respectful to leave them be and let them do the thing, give them a week or so, and I'm sure you can be back on the fish, and after they've been spawning they'll eat loads anyway, so you can catch a lot of fish in that time anyway. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in next week's video.